Thank you, Carl. And from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Vic Anderson in the final of this first ever NorthStar Nationals at Brainerd. And this overflow crowd is just chock full of folks from Minnesota, and they would love to see Vic Anderson take home the first ever title in top alcohol dragster. Our concentration now, though, is on top alcohol funny car, and the two best funny cars at the moment are Vern Moats and Frank Manzo. This is Vern Moats. He recorded an elapsed time in the previous round of 6.70 seconds at over 207 miles an hour. That's great, you say it is, until you consider what Ace Manzo, the Winston World Champion, did. He went 6.61 at also over 207. This is one of those races, Marty, you could just call a toss-up.
And Vern Moats needs it desperately because in the points chase, he's down in 9th place. And, of course, Ace Manzo is leading the way with over 5,000 points.
Frank Manzo wants to be the first ever repeat champion in top alcohol funny car. He needs a win here to increase his lead in that Winston Points Cup standing. A lot of psychological work going on the starting line. And look at Ace Manzo just drill Vern Moats. What a hole shot. Manzo, the last to stage, and he was the first to get there. 6.65 at over 208 miles an hour. A valiant effort by Vern Moats at 6.80 at 207. The crowd rejoicing with Ace Manzo as the Winston World Champion. Notches another victory in his belt. Watch the hole shot put on by Manzo. He was the last to stage. You see Vern Moats is there. Now Manzo will come into the staging beams last and leave first. That's what it's all about right there. You saw him just jump right off to the start, the lead, and within a few hundred feet he had a car length lead over Vern Moats. Our next pair of cars in this top alcohol funny car competition, the outstanding Gottschalk and Michalko entry. That is the bright yellow machine that you will be seeing. Alongside of him, the multicolored entry of Haywood and Neer, Bruce Neer and Don Haywood. Haywood, the driver, the body coming down on his car, checking to make sure the latch is held securely so the body will not come off the car. As you can see, it is a wedge shape almost, and it helps the funny car cut through the air. And you say, well, how can they run as quick and as fast as those little slender dragsters? Well, the aerodynamics on these cars are superior in some regards to those of the funny cars because those big wide slicks in the back are covered by the body. How did the first round go between these two?
Well, Bob Gottschalk came in with a 6.73 at 205 miles an hour, Dave, and he gets lane choice in this situation. Is going to take the right side. Don Haywood turned in a 6.80 flat at 204. So the situation again, though, in the point standings, very important because Bob Gottschalk is number 2 in the point standings behind Frank Manzo. Don Haywood is number 4. So we have had some fantastic racing by top 10 competitors all the way around.
In all the categories of competition, Marty, that has been the case. And I think the crowd that has jammed into Brainerd International Raceway has truly been treated to the best cars in the country here for this first ever NorthStar Nationals. For Bob Gottschalk, he needs this win because if he doesn't, that means automatically the Ace Manzo entry will move up a couple of hundred points just by virtue of this win in the semifinal round. It could come down to the final between Gottschalk and Manzo. That's what Bob would like to see. As we had an interview with him earlier, he said that's the final he wants to see, of course, but he's got to get past Don Haywood, and that may not be any easy task.
He's 356 points behind going into this round. He cannot afford to lose.
Both cars very cautiously approaching the staging beams, trying to get set in their own minds exactly how they want to leave. They are sitting in the pre-stage light. Now they gently roll forward into the staging beams. Don Haywood is ready. Bob Gottschalk is ready. A great start. Gottschalk has the bit of a lead at the few hundred feet and a 6.70 for Bob Gottschalk. With a speed of 205 miles an hour, moves them into the finals against the reigning world champion. And that is Frank Ace Manzo in top alcohol funny car. Of course, those two cars will run. Then the winner of that race will run the winner of the top alcohol dragster competition for the overall Pro Comp champion here at the NorthStar Nationals. At the starting line, both cars staged very cautiously, and it appeared to us in As they left, just what we thought, they left together. No car had the advantage as far as reaction time, but Bob Gottschalk, through the superior horsepower or better traction, pulled a slight lead at a couple of 100 feet out and went on to extend it to take the victory over Don Haywood by approximately 2 car lengths as they cross that finish line. The timing devices, as you can see, are also controlled by light beams across the finish line. The light beams are actually 132 feet apart with the finish line exactly in the center, and that's that broad yellow stripe, but the light beam is the timing device. It is 1,320 feet away from the starting line, and a photocell controls the action at the finish line as it does at the starting line. And everybody get ready, because we're going into top fuel dragster competition. This is Shirley Muldowney from Mount Clemens, Michigan. She was the first woman ever to be licensed to drive a top fuel dragster. She is the only person ever to win a Winston Top Fuel World Championship title twice. That feat had never been accomplished before until Shirley did it, and she is on her march for her 3rd Top Fuel World title. And Marty, she is feeling very confident.
Oh, excellent attitude as far as her pit and her crew is concerned.
One thing stands in her way here at the NorthStar Nationals, though, and that is the blue car of Candies and Hughes, the new national record holder at over 256 miles an hour. And Candies and Hughes, with Mark Oswald doing the driving, have been over 250 miles an hour consistently over the last 25 to 30 runs. For Shirley Muldowney, she also is consistent at speeds of 250 miles an hour plus. But bear in mind, speed means absolutely nothing. It is who gets to the finish line first. It's who gets to the finish line first makes all the difference.
Mark Oswald, we should tell you, we went back in the pits, checked in at the Candies and Hughes camp. They went to a bigger tire. They are trying to get more traction on the track this time. They feel like they've got to run a quicker time, and they ran a 5.74 last time out.
In addition to the bigger tire, what they also went to is a 15-inch wide centerline wheel. It is a new wheel developed by Centerline. It is 15 inches wide, and the tire itself reaching 18, 19 inches in width. They're trying to get more traction in the middle of the course. Good gracious alive, they're running 256. What will they do this time? Let's watch as Mark Oswald at the wheel of the Candies and Hughes car against the Winston points leader, Shirley Muldowney. And a great start by both drivers. Shirley Muldowney is out on Mark Oswald, and she has pulled it off. Shirley Muldowney, burning an engine at the finish line, wins the race 5.71 seconds at 249 miles an hour, and she extends her lead. Shirley Muldowney defeating Mark Oswald in this, the semifinal round of Top Fuel Eliminator. The losing time for Oswald, 5.79 seconds, 252 miles an hour. As we watch again on ESPN slow motion replay, you can see how it happened at the start as Shirley pulled a slight lead, the wheels just dancing off the pavement. She is out on Mark Oswald, a bit of tire smoke indicating a loss of traction, and that's all it took for Shirley Muldowney to get there first. Tremendous close racing here at the NorthStar Nationals, and that is indicative of the quality field that has shown up for this event.
Well, again, Mark Oswald runs over 250 miles an hour, but this time Shirley Muldowney gets to the line first, and number 1 against number 2, and number 1 prevails.
That's right. He just couldn't make it up at the finish line, try as he might at over 252 miles an hour. Our next pair, the final 2 cars in this round of Top Fuel Racing. This is Joe Amato from Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Amato yet to win his first major event, moving up from the Pro Comp ranks where he was very successful. Alongside of him, the low qualifier, Gary Beck, driving for Larry Miner. Larry Miner, a potato farmer owning hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland in 5 western states, has been in all sorts of motorsports as an owner. He also has owned drag boats and all types of things. Gary Beck, his latest driver, the wife of Joe Amato, backing him into his own tracks.
You know, I find that hard. I got to tell you the truth. If I had Jerry backing me up, I'd have a hard time concentrating on the race.
It's all a matter of priorities, I think, Marty, at that moment. And Jerry Amato, as she has for many a year, supporting her husband here in championship drag racing, not only with her thoughts, but also with her deeds. The crew over working on Gary Beck's car, possibly something going wrong, but now they seem to say A-OK at this point. The bright chrome roll cage of Joe Amato sparkling in this Minnesota sunshine here at Brainerd International Raceway. Gary Beck coming into the staging beams in the far side of the track. Joe Amato here on the tower side. This is the final pair of cars. The winner will go in to face Shirley Muldowney in the finals of the NorthStar Nationals. Which car will it be, Gary Beck or Joe Amato? A tire-smoking Gary Beck is the winner by the red light from Joe Amato. 578 for Gary Beck, 244 miles an hour. Shirley Muldowney will have the lane choice in the final as Joe Amato wastes a 595, 248. He just couldn't wait. He knew he was down in the performance between his car and Gary Beck's. And Joe Amato tried the whole shot on the Christmas tree, and it did not pay off as Joe Amato lost at the starting line by the red light. As Gary Beck coasts to a stop, he is moving into the finals against Shirley Muldowney to determine the first ever Top Fuel champion at the NorthStar Nationals. Gary Beck's car, a engineering masterpiece. Absolutely one of the finest pieces of equipment in competition today. And Carl Olson had a chance to talk with Gary and find out what a Top Fuel dragster is all about.
The Top Fuel dragster is the fastest and quickest accelerating competition vehicle in the world. And the particular car that we're looking at, driven by Gary Beck, is the quickest car in the history of the sport of drag racing. In October of 1981 at Orange County Raceway in California, this car covered a standing quarter mile in just 5.57 seconds, in excess of 250 miles an hour. And Gary, I wonder if we could just take a quick tour through this car from the front end to the back and have you explain a little bit to us about the engineering features that make this car so competitive.
All right, Carl, let's go up front and take a look. Up front here is a very important part of the car, because certainly it's where all the steering to allow us to keep in a very straight line and for the maneuverability on the racetrack. The wheels themselves look like a bicycle wheel, but they're a special rim and a special tire that will go 250 miles an hour. There's not much weight on the front of a Top Fuel car. They're only about 350 pounds, so each wheel is only carrying half of that. The front wing helps the car at the 250 mile an hour speeds stay down and give the tire a chance to steer. Because of the wing, as we'll see on the back of the car, the more wing we use in the back, the more angle that we have to use on the front wing to plant the car like a wedge.
Gary, the car appears very long from the driver's cockpit forward, and I see a receptacle here for the fuel tank. Is there any other equipment up here in the front of the car other than the body panels?
Not really. The fuel tank takes up the whole front section, and we put it way up in the front for ballast to help keep the car down at the starting line area, the launch of the car. Nitro's very heavy. This particular car has about 11 gallons of fuel in it. We do have a place way out on the nose that we can stick a little bit of lead ballast if some of the starting lines are extremely good and the car's launching hard. Here this weekend, we're using about 12 pounds up there just to help the front end stay down.
Okay, let's take a look at the driver's cockpit real